These are in listen-only mode.
Welcome, everyone. This is Trista Polo here with your 90-day Fast Track Week 2 coaching call. I'm excited to have everybody here today. We're going to go ahead and get started. I want to tell you what we're going to be covering tonight. First of all, a little housekeeping. I'm so excited to share these results with everybody from the Fast Track. We're going to talk about some tips for reporting your numbers and then a little bit about maximizing your productivity. We're also going to hear from Don Fagan, one of our Fast Track coaches of the week, and then we'll end with some special announcements. Look at our results for this week. In the first Fast Track week from week 1, we made 2,889 contacts. We showed the plan to 252 people. We had 56 Web Center owner overviews and 85 website appointments completed. This resulted in some great stuff for this week. 10 website sales, $15,700 in sale price, and $11,300 in retail profit. But we didn't just sell websites. We also sold $18,223.77 worth of other products. The cool thing is that we had 21 new personally sponsored business partners join the business this week and an additional 22 in the team as a result of the Fast Track. That is some great work this week, you guys. Look at our pin levels. We have growth going on all across the country. 2 new coordinators, congratulations. 10 executive coordinators new last week, and 1 new master coordinator. Really, really wonderful results, you guys. You should feel really proud of everything you accomplished so far, and we're just in the beginning. I'm really excited to be able to announce the website sales for this week. And I wish Sarah Rose could be here to do it for us. She is so excited and proud of everybody's results and success. I don't know if you know this, but she's actually winging her way back from Wisconsin because she did a local with Ryan and a Web Center 101 and 201 this week. So she's had a very busy weekend and she's on her way back from Wisconsin right now. But look at these website sales. Congratulations to Amy Wilson. Brian Lampkin sold 2 websites last week. Andrew Lowen, Ching Pin, Phil Brinks, Liz Hop, Lynn Clark, Bob Baker, and Clement Sue all sold websites this week. Congratulations. And I'm sure that you and the rest of us put in some great work that's going to lead to website sales in the coming weeks as well. I wanted to have us hear for a couple of minutes from Brian since he sold 2 websites this week. And let me see if I can get him on here. Yes, Brian, here you are. I'm going to unmute you. And if you could just share a little bit about your success this past week and how you did that. Brian, are you with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on the call. You know, I have to say I think it's all about discipline and actually just showing up and doing the work. For several years, I thought there had to be a secret or something that I was missing. I'd go to the trainings, and I think the one thing I was missing was that simple fact that if you do the work, you get the results. And being consistent with everything. I went to a seminar a couple years back. I think what changed everything for me was Frank Kiefer, and he said, discipline is the secret to the business. And discipline means to do the things you need to do until you get the results you desire. But the byproduct of that is confidence. And I think that's what I was missing, was not only the consistency, to just make up your mind that this is what you're going to do every day, as small or as big as it may be. Stick with it, because what you'll find out is that you'll start to get the confidence and realize that, wow, look back over the past weeks, months. I was able to do the work consistently, and then look what it brought me. And I think really that's what it's all about, is being consistent with that, and then of course follow up. Follow up goes without saying. You have to follow up to be successful. So really, if there's anything that I can impart to anybody else, and whenever anyone asks me, it's that: stick with what you say you're going to do, be real with yourself to what you can, but then stick with what you say you're going to do, and you'll just not only get the results, but you're going to get the confidence, which will keep building and allowing you to be better and better and better every single day, week, month.
Thank you, Brian. That is such great advice, and I really appreciate you sharing that. That's exactly what I was talking to somebody about earlier today. If we feel like we didn't get the results that we were looking for, we just have to stick with it and do more of what we know works, and the results are inevitable. Congratulations on selling 2 websites this week. I know we're going to see some other great things from you in the fast track, and I really appreciate you sharing some of that wisdom. It's really perfectly timed coming into the second week of our fast track. So let's talk a little bit about reporting your numbers. You had the first opportunity to do that, and we wanted to give you some clarification on a couple of points. So WS stands for website. So that means if you did a website overview or you sold a website, it was the WS, but WCO stands for Web Center Owner. So, for example, if you are talking to a graphic designer about possibly incorporating MA Web Centers into their business to sell websites more easily and have more of a system in place, that would be a Web Center Owner overview. And I have to tell you, I am so excited of all the different ways that we have to share our opportunity with Web Center and unfranchised prospects. So here are some great ones to use. We have a PowerPoint to show the overview at MAWC411. It's newly put up. It's right on the homepage. You should have no trouble finding it if you go there in the next several days. You also can use the MAWC411.com evaluate section. The website address is right there. This has the 22-minute video and a lot of information that a Web Center owner potential prospect would want to know about incorporating our Web Center and our unfranchise into their business or into their life as a second income stream. We have live overviews done by certified Web Center trainers like Russell and I called a UMO, and those are done all throughout the country. So you want to check the NMTSS for those. And if you want to have one done in your area, just reach out. We can definitely get somebody into the area to do that. But the greatest thing is you don't have to wait for that because Sarah Rose does a live Web Center overview the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. So that's something that you can plan for and work toward and get your prospective Web Center owner partners onto those. And those are really great information. They're like a mini UMO. When you're reporting your numbers, here's where you do that at MAWC411.com/90-day fast track activity log. We had some issues with people using Safari this week, so please use Firefox or Chrome. I'm on a Mac and I used Firefox and I had no trouble at all. So if you had trouble with Safari, go ahead and try Firefox or Chrome this week. You should not have any trouble with that. We want to make sure when you're reporting your numbers in the spaces that it asks for a total number of appointments, a total number of planned showings, that you just use numbers and don't label them or add additional text because those get imported and allow Sarah to create the results so perfectly and accurately so we can really track all of our success. And then you only want to report completed results. So please don't report pending website sales, pending new partners. Report them next week or the week after when they actually come to finalization. I'll tell you that comments box is a really great place. So for this week, I put my actual numbers in. And while I didn't sell a website, this week I was able to put in the comments box that I have some really great prospects that are hopefully going to close this coming week. Fingers crossed, very excited about it. But I put that in the comments box as opposed to in the numbers, so it didn't skew the reporting or make it harder for it to come into the system that Sarah's using to put those together. You know, a lot of people gave feedback that the week just flew by. And I think we've talked about this before, and Sarah Rose has talked about the fact that every week is going to be busy. We're all very busy, and we have to be able to fit this in to our week. But the thing is, it's all good. We want to just make some adjustments and find the time and maximize your productivity so that you can take what you did this week and build on it and start fresh this coming week. So let's talk about some tips for maximizing productivity. We have 5 to share with you today. The first one is really important, and it's time management. You want to identify when you're going to work and identify when you're not going to work. I have scheduled in things like call workshops, planned showings, webinars, home business presentations, but just as important, I have times when I'm not working. so that I never feel like, even when I'm in momentum and I have a really busy week, I feel like I also can look forward to some time off as well. Have your schedule with you. A lot of people use paper calendars in a day planner, or they use their smartphone. But I have a tip for you. If you're the kind of person that always has to check the calendar hanging from your refrigerator before you can schedule an appointment, chances are you might want to upgrade to something you can have with you, because you can't make an appointment right then. You may not make it later. You want to prioritize your day and plan ahead. Look at what's in your fast track plan that you created before we started, and make sure that you're staying on track with what you committed to at the beginning. You've made a list of potential people to talk to, both for the business as well as websites. Have that with you and have it ready. This is an 8 to 10 hour per week business, and in just 15 minutes a day, we can get some really great contacts in. So stay focused and stay on your time management, and you'll get a lot more done than you ever thought you could. But you want to leverage the system, and that's the second tip. This is going to help you with time management in a huge way. You don't want to look for different ways to do things when you could just leverage the system. We know this works. It's a proven track record. So just plug in. Plug into the NMTSS. Plug into the product specialists. Let us do the work for you. You also want to get outside your comfort zone, and that's tip 3. Some people are shyer than others. That's okay. But if your comfort zone is impeding your productivity, it will impede your ability to succeed as well. I have to tell you that what you are looking for in your life, your goals, what you want to be in your business, it's all waiting for you just outside your comfort zone. I have a saying: if it sounds awful and I'm going to hate doing it, then I probably should. And the more you do that you're scared of and you do it anyway, the more you'll be able to do, because you'll get past the fear of the little things and be able to start doing the big things. I'll also tell you that the comfort zone is a lot easier to be outside of if you have a buddy with you. So don't be afraid to get people involved with plan showings, call workshops, and other things that are hard for you to do on your own. You want to identify those quality contacts and make sure that you're calling them first so you can see results sooner. The fourth tip is cultivate and plant seeds. We saw a ton of people remembering people that they had completely forgotten about, which is great. Write them down, put them in your plan, and make sure that you get them on your calendar to call, because what you plant today grows tomorrow. This is a really important step for constant growth. If you're not identifying new possibilities, then you're going to run out of possibilities eventually. There are plenty in social media. There are plenty in real life. Spread out your local buying and make sure you're keeping your eye out for businesses that could use a website. I have a friend that just got married. She married somebody that owns a business. Well, I checked out his website, and guess what? He needs to hear from me so he can get it upgraded. I added him to my list, and I do that every single day. But tip 5, probably the most important, is forgive and move on. Lots of people had great weeks, others had slow starts. Who cares? You did it. You showed up for the second week of coaching, and you're on your way to where you want to be. Your numbers may not have been what you were hoping for, but that's okay. It was your first week, and chances are you probably put some really great things in place to have an even better week this coming week. The important thing is to be able to look at your sheets from week to week and make sure you can assess your own progress. You're never going to have a perfect situation. There will always be things that come up. So you need to concentrate on improving from wherever you're starting, because the only way to get forward is start from where you are. So forgive yourself. Keep moving forward, keep improving, and seek out support and coaching whenever you feel you need it. So the weekly webinars are recorded. You can find them at MAWC411/90-day coaching calls. They are not always guaranteed to be recorded, so you do want to make sure that you show up. But they're a great tool to go back to and review. And so, of course, we have the weekly reminders for the webinars via email that you registered with. So if that's a spam email or one you don't check very often, make sure you're checking that email so you can get the proper code and get on these calls, because the webinars are so key to your success. There's always great coaching. And the great thing about the coaching is it's about what we struggled with last week. Such timely stuff. And Sarah really works to make sure that we have coaching that's applicable to our struggles and our challenges. On this webinar, at the end, we will have an opportunity to ask questions and I will answer those, but that part is not recorded. So you definitely want to make sure to stay on to hear from other people and what they're getting their answers for. Next, I want to invite our coach of the week to speak to us and give us some success tips. This week's coach is Don Fagan. He's also going to be doing a Web Center blog, so you can look for that as well. Don is an executive coordinator. He is a fast track coach. He is a top selling Web Center owner. He is making it happen in the field, and he is an upcoming leader in the Midwest. So I want to give Don the floor, and he'll be able to share some great success tips with us. Don, are you on?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, go for it.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you for having me on. What I'm going to be talking about tonight is follow-up. I'm definitely, what I did in the beginning was just go in, dive in, and just go out and hit the businesses, not knowing really what to do. But what I did know how to do was follow up. And that's what really paid off for me. Like everyone else here, I am continually learning. So these webinars are definitely very important. But before I get started on the follow-up, I just want to share some stats with you. And this is shared in the WC 201 training, the stats on follow-up. What's interesting is only 2% of sales are made on the first contact. So if you don't follow up, chances are you're definitely not going to get a sale. But another thing that's interesting is 80% of the sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. So you really need to be persistent. The stats show it. They're not lying. So I found that very interesting. So I'm just going to share some things of what I do and what's been successful for me. There may be some other ways of following up, but this really has worked well for me. And what I do is, for example, I'll meet someone, could be a referral. I'm going to use it as a referral. So I'll meet someone, and I'll every 2 to 4 weeks, I'll follow up with them with a phone call, or I'll pop by, I'll swing by and stop in and see how they're doing. One thing that I also do is I'll write a handwritten note the same day, the day that I followed up with them. Now, if you think about it, how often do you receive a handwritten note? I mean, that's going to stick in your brain. At least for me, it does. If somebody writes a handwritten note, which might be once every 2 or 3 years, you remember that. And so that's why it's so important that you write the note. They'll remember you. And in that note, I'll thank them for meeting me. I'll also, through the discussion, we may have talked about their family, their business, whatever it is, I'll put it in that note. So, for example, if we talked about their son going on a camping trip, I'll put that in a note, just to personalize it. People really appreciate that special feeling special, feeling that there's a connection there. Another thing I'll do with that note is I'll put my business card in there, but I'll also attach it with a sticker. And that sticker will say, oh, by the way, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Now, my neighbor is a printer across the street, and he made those stickers for me, but I'm sure there's places where you could get stickers made, and that's worked for me. It's a subtle way to ask for referral as you are getting to know them and prospecting them. So our ultimate goal is to connect and build a genuine relationship with them, and they'll begin to trust you. And just be persistent. I've had comments of prospects that have said, thank you for being persistent. And that's just cool to hear. So, and then I'll just pop by every now and then. I try to keep it about once a month. And when I'm doing that, when I pop by, I'll try to patronize through. See, I stop at a bakery, I'll buy a loaf of bread, or if it's a coffee shop, I'll buy a coffee. If it's a bookstore, I'll buy a book. You make it appointment for a haircut if it's a hair salon. So auto body, auto mechanics, a bar and grill. Yeah, you might have to have a drink, but just having some fun. But it's just patronize them. They'll really appreciate it. Pay it forward. And when I go in there, I'll always act like I'm busy, like I'm very busy. My calendar is very full. So that's important because then at that point they won't think that you're going to be there for hours. You're just popping by, see how they're doing, just checking in, and you're just giving a little bit of face time. And then that way they're going to feel like you can just they will feel like you're just be a few seconds, and you can move on. So that's what you do for prospects. Now, looking at clients, say you booked the appointment, you made the sale, that's great. Now, what do you do after the sale? Well, what I do is, I'll send them a thank you. I'll send them a candy or a basket of flowers, and I do that through one of our partner stores, 1-800-Flowers. And so you're getting cash back in IBV, but they really feel special as a thank you. They just spent $1,700 on a website, and, and you just made maybe $1,200 of retail profit. So to spend $50 on flowers sent to them, it's not much to do. And I'll also stop by once a month. I'll continue that pattern to stop by once a month, because what I really want to do is stay in their mind. And so the reason why is so I can get in there, what they call the reticular activator. And that is something it's part of our brain that helps us with remembering things or notice some things. If there's women, if you're a woman and you're listening to this, when you're pregnant, if you were pregnant, you'll notice all pregnant women. If you drive a Volkswagen Beetle, you'll see all Volkswagen Beetles. You can take that same process with clients when they're thinking, if they hear of anybody talking about a need for web solutions, they'll think of you, and they'll think, oh yeah, Don Fagan, yeah, he treats us very well. So that's a key aspect to get referrals, is getting into their reticular activator. So that has worked out very well for us. So basically, in summary, be persistent, and they'll thank you in the end. Continuous contact with handwritten notes, and don't be afraid to ask for the referrals. One way that you could ask for a referral is if you're pleased with how we're taking care of you, I'd like you to refer me to people of comparable quality to yourself. And so you're complimenting them. And what I've noticed, I did that 2 weeks ago, and I ended up getting 4 referrals from one person. I mean, that was great. And I booked three appointments out of those 4 referrals. Are they all going to buy websites? Maybe, maybe not. But that referral has now turned into a warm market for me, because I can name drop, so which is another huge thing. So thank you for allowing me to share that and my technique and what I do, and that's about it.
Wow, thank you, Don. That was awesome. I can't wait to get the blog post so I can get all of that really juicy advice and start implementing it. Follow up for me is something that I am average at because I work really, really hard at it. If I didn't try really hard, I would not be good at it at all. It does not come easily or naturally to me. But I love that you shared those statistics, because 80% of people make a purchase from the 5th to the 12th touch. And I think that a lot of us, maybe they call 1 more time, 2 more times, but how many of us really touch those potential customers 5 or more times? Almost start to feel like you're bothering them, but that's where the money is. So great advice. Thank you so much, Don, for sharing that. And as I said, I'm really looking forward to the blog, and I know when it comes out, we'll get an ability to just review all that stuff and start implementing it. Wonderful tips, really, really jam-packed. So thank you so much. We have Web Center trainings coming up. I know Sarah Rose just did one in Wisconsin. My husband Russell and I just did one here in Poughkeepsie. This is great training. I will tell you, this training is so great for being able to get on the ground running. The 101 is a perfect introduction. The 201 is like a mini moving up seminar. We do call workshops. I know we booked about 6 appointments during a 20-minute call workshop session. I know at Sarah Rose's, I think they booked about 8 appointments during their call workshop session. It works, and people leave having appointments set and ready to go for the upcoming week. Really, really awesome. So here are the trainings coming up: California, Maryland, New York, Ontario, Washington, Connecticut. You can see that just in the next couple of weeks, there are a lot of great trainings to plug into. I want to share with you something that happened at our Web Center training. The first day, the 101, is a great opportunity for potential Web Center owners to come and check out who we are and how our product stands against other options out there. We had somebody who hadn't even seen the business plan yet. He was invited to take a look at our Web Center product, and the Web Center training was the way he did that. He is a programmer, a developer, PHP guy, and he came to check us out. He liked so much what he heard, he came to the 201 class, got more in-depth information, and from what I understand, after the 201 was over, his intention was to get his own Web Center. So the Web Center trainings are so effective, not just for you to grow your business and be better at selling websites and building your business. They're great for potential partners as well. So just remember, it's a process. We're doing 312 for our own businesses. That's 3 calls, 1 appointment, and 2 new possibilities per day. If you can do that every single day, it's not a lot, but it adds up to huge amounts of activity over a period of time. You want to improve your scheduling this week so that you can get the work done, and try some of the strategies that I shared last week and the great ones that Don shared with you this week, and then rinse and repeat to create momentum. Some of us had some really, really great stuff going on this week. Some of us had less than we wanted, but I guarantee that you still have things in place that you are building toward being able to have some really great weeks coming up ahead. So don't give up. Don't quit. Dig in. This is a new week, a new opportunity to make things happen. And I know that we can do it. We have a great system in place. We have a great fast track. All the tools are there. I just want to acknowledge Sarah Rose. She is not only flying around the world, Wisconsin, Hong Kong, she is managing and creating this structure for us to all plug into so that we don't have to do the heavy work with the tracking and making sure all of the technology is there. She's doing all of that for us. And all we need to do is plug in, follow the system, make a commitment to ourselves, our team, and our business. It's all there for us. So I just want to acknowledge and thank her for all of the work that she does for us. And speaking as a coach, I'm so excited to be able to be part of that support. So we'll see you on the 90-day Fast Track Facebook page. Plug in there, get your questions answered, get the support you need. Help out if you know the answer. We have a lot of great resources on this team. I really appreciate everybody being here with us tonight. And I'm going to now end the recording, and we'll see if we have any questions. If you have your questions, go ahead and post them and we'll get the answers.